On today's episode of Back of the Bird, we sit down with Riley Hutchcraft of the Rochester Knighthawks, chat about his NLL career, also talk a lot of stuff about goaltending equipment and some philosophies about goaltending. Also, stay tuned to our social media today and in the coming weeks for our NIL nominees for the first Player of the Month. Also, chat about my trip to Montreal and some other news and notes around the league. Let's get into it. Episode 110 of Back of the Bird.
Take your first ride and run, baby, run. If you want a sign, this is it. You're mad, your magic, you're as hard as a gun. You wanna play with fire, consider this. You'll chase the thrill if it's worth the hit, 'cause you never ever wanna work for it. Take your first ride and run, baby, run. You got a spine of steel and a roar of thunder. Yeah, you make me drown, yeah, you're pulling me under.
Oh, all right. We're back. What episode are we on, Donny?
110, I believe.
110 times. Brought to you by Cottage Springs. Get out there, try them out. They got all the new stuff rolling into the LCBOs. But let's just dive into it, Paulie. What is up, buddy?
Nothing much, man. Just grinding away. I've had an interesting week here. It's been good. Went to a farm today with my mom and 2 kids, and it was just like the muddiest farm / just animal shit everywhere. So
Did you bring Hank?
No, Hank would have just torn up the place. But so Coco, my daughter, has started walking the last couple of weeks. So she just wants to walk. So we go there and it's we had a little not a stroller but a plastic car. I'm like, I don't think we'll need it. Then as we get in there, I'm like, I don't think we would be able to use it because it's you're going into a petting zoo, but it's llamas, goats, chickens, just a whole. Anyways, 2 seconds in, she's just falls down, hand and shit, and it happened yeah. Well, there's shit everywhere. It's just what mud, what shit. It was a disaster. I mean, it was fun, but it was just actually the whole time I was just thinking your nephew when he was getting attacked by the pelicans. Nothing like that happened. They're all pretty good, but when we walked in, these 2 gray goats, my kids didn't see, but they're literally headbutting each other, doing the headbutt. I'm like, is it safe to get in there? It was okay. So I don't know. It was fun. Yeah, there was multiple cleanups. Had to strip her down before she came in the car. Threw shoes all in the back, straight in the wash. Shoes are still outside, just caked in whatever. But things you do for your kids, man.
Yep. I get that I don't get it. But hey, what else what was this little dinner you had?
Yeah, so my sister, my second older sister, Billy Greer's wife, Ash, avid listener, is enthralled with your love life too. So just maybe get a little update on that. So
no problem.
New segment each week.
We can
rest. But yeah, I mean, just as you get older, right? What do you get your parents? They don't want anything, just you don't want anything. So anyways, we've gone to we've used to go to shows all the time. So anyways, my sister found this thing. It's whatever you call an immersive dinner experience, an ABBA dinner experience. So yeah, all good. So we buy the tickets, and this Sunday was the dinner. So I was kind of thinking it was gonna be a concert that you I don't know what I was expecting, but it was right at pretty much Yonge and Dundas Square, this little Mediterranean restaurant. There's probably only 75 people, a smaller restaurant. So you get up, have your own table. So I was okay, then kind of figured out okay, they'll just be performing, walking around. But so it's 4 people, it's 2 girls, 2 guys, and they kind of do if you've seen the movie Mamma Mia or the play, they kind of do that as you're eating. But man, these 2 guys were just electric. The one guy, so funny. It's just like me and my brother kept like, we've never seen a guy move his hips like that. It's unbelievable. So then like it's a great time. Like they get you involved, singing. I sing you some of their videos, dancing and whatever. And then my mom's like, "Hey, we gotta get a picture with him at the end." So we get a picture with him. And then my brother like leans over to the guy and he's like, "Hey man, like I've never seen a guy move his hips like that." The guy's like, "When was the last time?" And my brother's like, just great job, everybody. So it's just like he missed like the joke, but it was amazing. So yeah, it was a fun time, man. Fun time had by all.
That's awesome, man. Those videos were pretty good. But Donnie, what about you, buddy? What's going on?
I'm great. Ready to play this weekend. We play Sunday, so a bit of a long week for us. And I had a lacrosse filled weekend. I went to Montreal on Friday, Thursday, and then Friday for the Unbox game, which we can talk about here in a little bit. And then went back to Cornell for the first time since my sophomore year. Junior year we didn't play at home. Senior year we didn't play at all. And then I've been on the road for a while since then. So it was awesome being back at Cornell. They look great. A bunch of Canadians played really well. Willem Firth scored 4 goals. It was just awesome to be back, and a couple pops after the game to remind yourself that I'm old and don't got it anymore. At least not like the college guys got it, and a drive Sunday morning to really remind yourself that you don't have it like you did in college too. So yeah, no, good weekend.
That's a lot of driving for you.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I didn't realize you went to Cornell.
Me either.
Yeah, it was 5 from Montreal to Ithaca, and then to Cornell, and then 4 hours home. So it was a lot. I had some upstate weather around Syracuse. Started fishtailing for a second. I'm sure everyone's been there at least once. Really like hopeless feeling. You're just like, and kind of snap back, and I was okay, but
yeah.
For a second you're like, am I in one, or like am I fucking in one here? So so I was joking with the boys when I got to Cornell. A couple of my classmates there, I was like, can confirm my heart still works. Because I felt her. So
and I need new underwear.
yeah, and I need to go use the locker room. So why don't we talk about Montreal? I got a couple thoughts.
I like it
about it. Made some notes. The old notes app, classic move here. So first of all, a couple people came up to me who are Back the Bird fans. Just want to say thank you to them. Really appreciate that. It was great chatting. It's always great hearing people that listen. It means a lot to us every time we hear it. So just want to be clear on that. But I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch it. It was a great event. It was packed house, super engaged audience. It was full like way before the gates opened, or like there's long lines before the gates open. And something I think that is interesting that I heard is that the luxury boxes at Place Belle, they like if you own them for everything. So they're not sold on like an event by event basis. It's like you either have them or you don't. And if there were like 40 of them, I would say like 35 of them were full. And so the league didn't even like sell those. Like those are just people who own them who were like curious enough about the event to come out and watch.
That's cool.
So I thought that was pretty cool. A couple other things I thought were interesting. One, they had French referees. Forgive me, I should look up his name. But it's one of our regular refs who also speaks French. So when he would make announcements, he would do it in French, which I thought was a nice touch by the league. And then Steph Charbonneau was there as well. He plays for Vancouver. He was there watching the game. He, I believe, grew up in Ontario, but he's Francophone. So he did like a French interview on the Jumbotron talking about the game and the sport, which again, I just thought was a good touch. And something I wanted to connect the dots on too is I talked to someone today who played in the game, and they said the turf was good. Looked good on.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, so it goes in like little squares. So it's like a series of squares, and then I was in there on Thursday. It's like a mower thing that they basically take this mower to like basically like get rid of all the seams between the squares.
I saw that. I didn't know if they were cutting the grass or what they were doing.
It's crazy, man. It legit looks and sounds like a mower. Um, and yeah,
But
apparently it
it's like
wasn't
almost
slip.
like a giant. So it's like a giant comb almost.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a spinning comb thing, but it lies flat, obviously, because it's all the squares, and because
Yeah.
when you store them, you can stack them right on top of each other. I think that's why typically the turfs, at least in my understanding, get lumpy, is because they get stored in
Like rolls.
Yeah.
rolls, and then the rolls get stacked on top of each other to save space too. So then it like compresses them and kind of makes them weird. So the grid system seemed to work, well. It looked maybe a little bit funky to the eye, but that's just because it's different. So, anyways,
Yeah.
that was a long way of saying, I think the turf was a success. And then the last thing I want to say is the NLL did a great job with merch. They had Montreal unboxed merch there. They had one that said beer, and then it had the Castors logo, and then lacrosse. So beer, beavers, and lacrosse, which I thought was a nice one. And then a bunch of nice they had a bunch of like non New York or Toronto merch there, Montreal and box stuff. So just thought it was a good touch by them, and I'm glad my bye weeks kind of synced up at the right time, because it was a cool event to take part of, and lots of people I knew there, lots of people that you guys would know as well. So it was nice to see some people I haven't seen in a while, and just taking the game.
Yeah, it looked cool. I watched the game. It was it looked like a great product, and it looked like everyone was like cheering quite a bit. It sounded like people were booing Toronto right out of the gate, which is like kind of cool just to have that passion right away, and then have a pretty good game to watch too. Lots of talent on display there, so it was a good one.
Yeah, from a promotional perspective, it was a good game too. Obviously, you had a fight, lots of goals. You had a comeback. I would say the biggest fan base was like neutral. There's a lot of Toronto fans and some New York fans as well, but I would say the majority of people were there to kind of like take in the spectacle, I would say. And there's definitely some anti-Toronto stuff too, of like, I know I might not be cheering for New York, but I'm cheering against Toronto.
Yeah.
The guys beside me in a very thick French accent kept yelling "fuck Toronto," and it predictably got worse as they got drunker and drunker. So
You'd love that.
yeah.
That's awesome. What's I guess we can kind of transition. Like it seems like a good little segue. New York obviously playing in that game. We're recording this Wednesday night. I have to just think about what day it was because these weeks are crazy. But they've announced they're moving to Ottawa. So I guess that's effective next year. It sounds like they're going to be playing out of the arena that's in Canada.
So they're playing out of Canadian Tire Center, which is the Senators rink, which is in Canada. And it's still owned by GF Sports and Entertainment, which I think in partnership with the Senators. So I think that might be a detail that some folks missed. I certainly was under the impression that if it was going to Ottawa, it was going to be fully Senators. And then the league put out a press release today explaining the whole thing. So yeah, it's a partnership between the existing Riptide owners and the Senators.
Interesting. I didn't realize that either.
I'd be interested to know kind of the breakdown of that partnership. But it sounds is Sensplex, is that something that's already built, or is that something that's going to be built and then they're going to have a practice facility there?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'll look it up though.
Okay, yeah, because it obviously there's with the whole like selling of the Senators and everything to Andlauer, part of that plan was to like build the arena downtown and shift to there. So it'll be interesting to see kind of like how that transforms over the next couple of years, because I know it's a 5-year deal.
Yeah, Sensplex already exists.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have a practice facility there too. So that'll be interesting. Obviously, that's something that's nice. It'll be because I think they're a midweek practice team now. So I guess they'll be going back to the Fridays. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how this transforms. But again, I think it's for a city that has been getting bad news after bad news in terms of like this whole junior A team debacle and everything. I think getting this is big for Ottawa lacrosse. And I think it'll be great for years to come if they can, fill that place and get people to go to those games. And, more kids are going to be able to get a clear cut view of where they can end up playing. So it'll be, I think it's a great opportunity. I also saw that Beaches and Orangeville are going to be playing a game in Nepean. Did you guys see that?
I saw that too. That
just got
was a
announced,
sneaky
but this is wild. Like, let's just put a team there. Like, what are we doing? Let's have exhibition teams there, and then
is that like a petty move?
I know it has nothing to do with like the NLL, but it's like there's a team there now. We're doing an exhibition game. Like, we just turned down a junior A team. Like, what are we doing? Let's just put a junior A team there and figure it out. Like,
I think it's got to be kind of like a petty move to do that exhibition game there, like to the people that voted no.
That's how I kind of took it. It was just like almost like a slap in the face a little bit, like how I took it. Like, okay, this is exciting. Now we're gonna have an exhibition game. It's like we just tried for 2 years to get a team in here. Like, what are we doing?
It's awesome.
But anyways,
I live for the lacrosse drama.
Yeah.
Again, obviously great event, great announcement, exciting stuff. I don't know. Maybe we'll see a team come to Montreal too. So now that could be a little rivalry, Ottawa, Montreal.
Another thing I wanted to actually note on this, and we had Commissioner Fruit on to talk about this, so it's not really a surprise. But the Ottawa Unboxed branding that they announced was not Black Bears. So. The idea that new expansion, it was supposed to be the Ottawa Electrics, and then the Senators logo and color branding seems like it's all consistent with Black Bears. So don't necessarily assume that if these other markets get teams that they'll take those unboxed. Names.
That's a good nugget. That's a really good nugget, Donny. Nice work.
There you go.
That's our research.
Ottawa
guy.
was one of the unboxed things.
Yep, Ottawa Electrics.
Must have missed that one. Oops.
That's how we got our research guide, Paulie. Do we want to maybe leave our the last two part of the banter for after our interview?
Sure. Yep, go with me.
All right. Well, we got Riley Hutchcraft this week. We didn't tell you that, but now you know. And it's brought to you by Lucky Penny Media. At Lucky Penny Media, we're a full-service marketing company without hefty agency pricing. We understand your brand is everything to you, and working together, it means everything to us. More than just a client, you're a partner and a teammate. Our philosophy is simple. You grow, I grow, we grow. So here he is, Riley Hutchcraft.
Sorry.
All right. This Mimico native played his minor and junior lacrosse for the Mimico Mountaineers, except for a brief stop in Brampton, which we'll talk about, where he led the Mimico Mountaineers to the 2017 Minto Cup. He was selected in the third round of the 2017 NLL draft by the Toronto Rock, where he played his first 4 seasons in the NLL. After getting traded to Rochester Knighthawks, he has taken over the starting role for the Hawks this season. Most importantly, he is one of the unluckiest players in the world, having the misfortune to play with all 3 members of the Back of the Bird. Welcome to the Back of the Bird, Riley Hutchcraft.
There you go. Thanks, Donny. Appreciate that intro.
A little better. I fixed my errors from last time, so.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that little. Yeah, I did it this time, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I guess that's the nice part of us having to, for those that don't know, for us having to do this twice, is we can kind of just pretend that we didn't make any mistakes the first time. It's like a little dry run.
Yeah.
If we had all the time in the world, we could do that for everybody. Although I think you're on a short list. I think it might be Sean Evans is the only other one, maybe. One of which we did 3 times, I think.
Yeah, that's good. I hope we could just do this in 2. So.
Yeah, that's the plan. But let's
for the
let's
listeners
kind
who have no idea what we're talking about, we recorded an interview with Hutch last week, and audio wasn't great. So we're doing it again. That's we're in the re-record. So hopefully we can bang that today. I feel confident though.
Let's go. All right. Well,
and so listeners know it's all Hutchie's fault. So
yeah.
Just because we like him so much, we gave him a second try.
Exactly. And now I get to look at your face again. Nice and
Yeah.
close this time, Polly.
I know,
Yeah.
on the cell phone.
Oh,
How's
and
that?
this is gonna make for absolutely amazing video with just the tornado of having children in the background, which is it's relatable content. Oh, what's that? Is that a Canada jersey back there?
Where? Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow.
Danny, oh, hold on a sec. This is Jesus. How do I not know how to? Oh my God! How did I not know how to figure this out? Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Wow.
There. If the listeners at home, hold on. Let's get through the junk here. We got a
This is
Dan
what you call
Dawson jersey.
elite podcasting. We're getting a jersey tour up, like literally zoomed in jersey tour.
Oh, hold on. Yeah,
Just a
there's
classic
little brother,
dad.
big brother.
Classic dad doesn't know how to use his phone.
Yeah. Eventually we'll throw him on the wall here. Who knows?
That's a cool
At one
picture though.
point.
The Blazers one's really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was in my dad's basement for a long time. Yeah, it was cool. I ended up, long story short, I passed it Dan on a breakaway. So that's right after he scores from a pass from me, and then some guy caught it on camera, and then my dad blew it up. So yes, be pretty cool. I'll put it up here in the basement at some point.
Nice.
Yeah, just have to get all the laundry done first.
That's step one. But let's kind of jump into it, man. Hutchie, what's going on? How are things right now for you?
Everything's pretty good. We're in that part of the season where it feels like everything's in fast forward. You play a game on Saturday, and next thing you know, you're on a plane or you're traveling somewhere to play again. So that's pretty much our lives, all in a nutshell, right there. But mixed in there, I have a young son that I took swimming tonight to swimming lessons. So he keeps me busy on the days that we don't have lacrosse.
Hey, last time we chatted, he was going, I think, to martial arts class. What is he kind of taking to more? What's he enjoying more, the swimming or the wrestling?
I think he likes the swimming a little bit more. He doesn't
Okay.
have the
Doesn't have a guy
instructors.
dunking him in the doesn't have a guy dunking him in the deep end, telling him to start swimming with no floaties on.
Yeah, he doesn't have the instructor just body slamming him into the mat. So he has a little bit more free range in the swimming pool. But yeah, no, he loves the swimming pool. He jumps in and he splashes. He pours the water on my head. So it's good. Keeps him busy. Keeps me busy.
This is gonna sound like a stupid naive guy with no kids question. When do kids like swim on their own? Like
Honest, depends, man. Really, like you see those videos, they're like newborns that start swimming. Really, just depends on how quick you get them in the water and like how quick they take to lessons.
hold on. What
really.
do you mean? What do you mean newborns are swimming?
I know what Paulie's talking
But-
about. Like people start their
Really?
kids at lessons, like because you can teach them how to like roll over, basically, right?
Dude, it will blow your mind. So we joked about like getting dunked in the deep end. Go Instagram or YouTube, and I'm telling you, literally, not newborns, but probably less than a year, and these people are just flinging them into the deep end, and then they like figure it out. They like roll over and they kind of get out and they can kind of swim, so they get on their back. Dude, it is like anxiety filled TV to watch it. It's nuts.
I feel like I'm gonna have the FBI at my door if that's like if they see that that's on YouTube.
It's gonna get you on some list that you don't want to be on.
But
Yeah,
I will be looking into it because that's got me curious, Paulie.
Yeah, our swimming lessons, like the first ones we did a year ago now, they make you like take your kid and put them right under the water and then bring them back up, and they just expect them. I guess it's a human reflex or something that they just know what to do when they get put underwater.
It's called the mammalian.
Paulie?
Yeah, it's called the mammalian dive reflex.
There you go.
That's a fun
Wow.
fact. I'm keeping that in my back pocket. It sounds
Oh.
smart.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Good thing you know what it was.
On that note, what was it like growing up in Mimico?
I don't know. I don't
Got
remember
dunked
getting
in
dunked
the-
in the pool. I don't remember getting dunked in the pool, but it was pretty cool. Like we talked about last time, it was just like it was like a family growing up. I started playing when I was 3 years old, when my old man put me into it, and we kind of had the same kids growing up since Baby Peanut, it was called, and yeah, we kind of grew up all the way through till our last year of junior. The same, I think, 8 or 9 core guys on that team, and it was pretty special.
Who were some of the guys? Who are some of the guys that are still playing in this league?
Yeah, so the
if
guys
any?
in this league right now would be Jackson Subak, Warren Jeffrey. Those 2 guys are playing in this league, and then a handful of them are playing in the LL, like Josh Taguri.
And Clark as well, Hutchie.
Yeah, sorry. Clark was a part of that core group too. I don't want to forget him.
That's a pretty elite group. Did you guys do a lot of winning growing up?
We joke about it. We were the best third place team on Ontario because we played against like Whitby, who had at the time Justin Lemke, Dawson Theed, Bryce Yetman was the guy. They were all pretty good, and then around Bantam they left and followed the hockey route. So we competed against Whitby and Orangeville, who had Jeff Henrik, Randy Black. They had Hearts and Net every second year. And then who else? We would play against Brampton. Yeah, they had Teeter, Connor McClelland. Like, it was just a good age group, and we were lucky to win maybe 6 or 7 bronze medals throughout that time.
I keep hearing that McClellan name. Did he play? Does he play still play lacrosse, or does he not play anymore?
Yeah, he plays the Sask.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Nice.
Check the fucking game notes, Danny.
Yeah.
I recognize. I don't know. Paulie, you know that time when you got to the point. I mean,
I know.
This may have
I know
been
you're
twice
talking
over
about.
for you.
No.
But
yeah,
that's good for him. Congrats on the success, buddy. I'm rooting for you.
Heard a lot about you.
Yeah.
I played with Connor's older brother Ryan.
Oh yeah.
One of the all-time biggest beauties in the league. We got to get I can't tell a story because my brother should tell it, but he played for Team Canada outdoor. He played a little bit in this league too. I played with him in Philly, but he played outdoor. I want to say maybe in Manchester, so whatever that was, call it 2012 maybe.
2010, yeah.
2010, okay. But my brother, this guy, so he would have been fresh out of university, and my brother kind of knew him from playing in Brampton. He may have been a ball boy when my brother was growing up. But first thing he says to my brother, he's call me the Dragon. He had himself nicknamed the Dragon. And my brother, my brother just had his way with him, but just loved this guy. Just kind of had him on a leash, would do whatever my brother said in Manchester, but just all-time beauty, man. Great guy.
The Dragon. I got to come up with a nickname for myself, I think.
Yeah.
You already have one.
Sorry, go
RJ.
RJ. He's already got one, RJ. You don't need another.
Maybe, obviously last time we sat down and talked about it, but walk us through kind of your old man and his involvement with the game when maybe he was growing up, and then kind of how much it's influenced you in playing.
Yeah, it's honestly why I play the game. He played growing up. He played for the Etobicoke Eclipse. So his claim to fame, he says, is he got to play against JT, and he played growing up. He played for the Eclipse and Hamilton Bengals. But yeah, his involvement is one that stuck with me. He never coached me growing up, but he was always around. He ended up being the equipment manager of the junior A team, and he kind of helped out when he could. And he was the guy who barbecued on the weekends at Tent City, and he was just someone that always was there to lend a hand to the boys, which was pretty special growing up to have him so close. Not in a coaching aspect, but someone that was supportive the whole way.
Did you say Tent City?
Tent City, tent. So
Tent
City
set up at the provincials.
Yeah, that was our
What?
setup at the provincial. So, like I was talking about last week, we'd get there 2 or 3 hours early before the games, and our parents would wheel out the tents, like party
The
tents,
canopies, yeah.
and yeah, canopies and whatnot, and they would like set them up, and there would be at sometimes like 6 tents in this backfield at Iroquois Park, and it was just to give us shade throughout the intermissions
Man,
between games and
I,
whatnot.
I don't know. I got my idiot hat on today. I thought you were just telling me that your dad barbecued for the homeless. Like,
Basically,
he's down in Tent City,
I
just
mean,
growing up for the
Hey,
boys.
if the homeless were smart, they would have found their way to the Ontario Summer or the Ontario Lacrosse Festival. They would have got some food. They'd wanted
and
to.
the thing about that is like if they showed up, the homeless showed up, our parents would probably have like a 3-course meal for them because they would be cooking all day. Like I don't know like what they were thinking when they like planned for meals, but there was some times where we would leave with trays of food in the back of our car, and it's like, well, that was
That's
poor
nice.
planning.
Must have
But
counted.
yeah, it was good for me because then I would have lunch for the next couple of days. But then you go to the tournament and you have the same meal again next week. It's just like you're
Are you getting
on
on him? Are
repeat.
you getting on him to change it up a little? Maybe like, listen, I'm getting kind of sick of this. Can we
Yeah,
get something new, or was it that
and
good that you're like,
no, it was that good. Like some of the stuff you wanted to repeat, and then there was some stuff that you were like, oh, maybe we change it up this week. And then that's where the pork sandwiches came into to play that Donny was talking about last week. I was like, something that needs to be quick, like a sandwich or something. And he couldn't go out and just buy like a cold cut package from the grocery store. He had to take it above and beyond, and he had to go to Costco and get the full pork roast and cut it up and marinate it and get it on the barbecue.
I
So
actually I since messaged, like, this is a couple years ago now, but I actually messaged your dad on Facebook one time and got the recipe for the pork. It's unbelievable. It's just very simple and stuff, but anyways, yeah, the pork
Can we
sandwich
give that
is
secret away or no?
Yeah,
yeah?
it was
well, I'm
it
sure
was
if you asked, you give the secret away. Go
yeah,
ahead.
Maybe we just pump out a nice graphic of Mr. Hutchie's classic recipe
we
and
should.
pump it out to
I'll
everybody.
let me see if I still got it. It's like olive oil, soy sauce. It's got Montreal steaks.
Whoa! We gotta ask permission first.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. I'll send it up the chain of command, and then I'll
You might be
report back.
you might be getting assassinated if you put this out to the
Hey,
public
look,
without
Cease
asking.
and desist. The cease
Lacrosse
and
culture is
desist.
just gonna have a recipes tab now on the website.
Yeah.
That honestly
And
wouldn't be a bad idea. You could make a lacrosse cookbook for road trips.
Tailgate cookbook.
Mine-
I like it.
The Lomas household would just be 2 meatball subs, 19 cans of Powerade, and as much of a sunburn as you can get in between games. Also, okay, so I mean, we're kind of on that I don't even know what category I guess you could say, but its subject was the word I was looking for. What's the story behind the Cookie Monster?
Yeah. So growing up, I said it last time. I was at practice one time and I made a big save, and one of my coaches yells, "The Mimico Monster!" And my dad ate that up. And next thing I know, I had a Cookie Monster sticker on the little dangler. And then it kind of grew from there. I made Team Ontario in my midget year, and they offered to buy me a pair of pants. So I got the guy who was doing it at the time, Joe Kenny from RYR Sports, to stitch the Cookie Monster on the back of my pants. And then I kind of wore those pants all through junior. And then when I got to the NLL and designed my first mask, I put it on my first mask there. It was the Cookie Monster in the front and then a brick wall in the back. So it kind of stuck with me since that practice.
Is there are those kind of the go-to now? Like you say, I remember you saying you kind of get a mask every 2 years. So like Cookie Monster, brick wall, those always be like two things you always incorporate, or be anything else you always incorporate?
Yeah. So the top of the mask, like the front of the mask, changes. Like I've changed it 3 times now. But the back of the back plate kind of stays consistent. I have the brick wall, and then I put the Cookie Monster back there as well. And then I have the three. I have 3 hearts on the back, just signifying my family, just me, my wife, and my son. and then I have the Every Child Matters sticker kind of put on there. So the back plate is something that like I can personalize, and then the front plate or the front part of the mask is like kind of go with the team colors and designs and stuff.
How does that work, Hutchie? How does that process work with like coordinating between the team, whoever is the artist, and like do you use the same artist across like even with different associations now? How does that work?
Yeah, so I always wore a field mask growing up. So in my first year, Rosie was getting a mask, and he asked me if I wanted one. So I made the switch then, and he put me onto the guy from Sports Mask, is the hockey helmet provider. And then Rosie had a paint guy in Oshawa, and he put me onto him, and he did a great job with my first mask. So I stuck with him, and he kind of works with the sportsmith guy, and he puts a price together, and then they bill the organization. But I think like 13 or 14 of the goalies in the NLL use him now, just through like word of mouth. Like Rosie, I think, was the first guy to use him when he first got his mask painted, and then I did it, and then Troy did it, and it kind of just chain effect from there.
That's awesome. We should get that
Yeah.
guy on sometime.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Donny, that's the video content for you.
That's I was just
Yes.
thinking.
He does a great job, and it's like it's one of those things. Like I know, like my first mask, I had no idea, like kind of like what I wanted to do, and I told them like this is kind of the idea, and he was like, "Let me work with it," and sent me a couple pictures, and he was great and knocked it out of the park the first time. So same with the second one and the third one. So it's just one of those things that you give him an idea, and he's able to run with it.
Let's transition because we talked about this the last time. I thought it was interesting to talking about your gear now. So one thing that I thought, like you mentioned, you use the same pants your whole junior career, and a lot of players, other than helmets and gloves and sticks, a lot of players use the same protective gear. But you guys actually have to switch gear pretty much by rule, right? So can you explain to people? I don't actually necessarily know how that process works. So how does your goalie gear get kind of like all coordinated through the league, Bodum, and then you guys have to use the new stuff, correct?
Yeah, so it all depends on like kind of year to year what the measurements are. Like the last like 2 or 3 years, they have had measurement changes, so we've had to use the new gear every year type thing. Uh, but it kind of goes off of your measurements. So you get initial measurements at the beginning of the year as a goalie. So you go in and you get your weight done. You get like how tall your shoulders are, how tall you are, and then you get a specific measurement that you can expand your shoulder caps by, and then your leg pads have a specific measurement, and you get the leg pads, and they're super skinny, so you have to take them. And what I said last time was I put them under my couch and I sit on them for a couple days or a week, and they kind of expand, and that's how they go. But by using them so much, they kind of expand all the time. So by the time the next year comes around, you kind of have to use the new stuff that's given to you anyways. So it is tough. It's a challenging type thing to do, but all the goalies in the league kind of do it. And yeah.
Do you know like what would be some other ways that other guys like get the couch thing is kind of hilarious. Like what do other guys what's like the craziest thing I guess you've heard someone do?
The craziest thing I've seen someone do was Brendan Miller, my rookie year. He was the backup goalie for Toronto, and we had got our new stuff, and I didn't know what to do with it. So Rosie was doing his stuff, and I see B walk towards the showers, and he throws it in the shower, and he turns the shower on and just lets the water hit it for like the whole practice. I was like, what are you doing there? And he was like, yeah, I need to let the water hit it or it's too stiff for me. So like you got guys like him just throwing it in the shower and letting the water hit it. Rosie puts it in Toronto. We had stalls that flipped up. He would put his pads in there and then put a couple water jugs on them just to expand the pads that way. But yeah, there's some crazy stuff that
don't guys like run them over with their car?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I think Cause back in the day, you probably get his truck over top of them to get
Do they not?
to
Like, does
make
the
them
plastic
expand.
never break? Like the
In my time, like using Bodum, I think he's the most durable. Like I've never seen anything crack or break or do anything. Like I've jumped on them pretty good, and I've seen we just said, cause I heard ran them over for this truck, so they're pretty durable.
yeah, I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
That'll do.
So when you go pregame and you get measured by the refs, they're doing like I've seen the tool. There's like the big wooden tool they use for your shoulders and stuff. Is there anything that they use on your legs to see like is there a width rule on those leg pads?
Yeah, so the calipers, they use them all the way down towards the legs, so they just they fold, and then on the legs there's three different measurements. There's a measurement for the top of the leg, the middle of the leg, and then the ankle. And they just use the calipers to make sure that you fit those measurements.
So that's another thing fans probably don't know is the goalies have a measurement like 10 minutes, 15 minutes before every game with the referees. You go back into a back room and
Yeah, so
bang that out.
so we walk in there and they take our jerseys off. They measure our jerseys to make sure that they're not like too big. They measure our shoulders, our hips, making sure our pants are on our hips, and then they measure our pads, making sure that we don't that we're not cheating. So
Have you heard of it? You guys, Paulie, this, I mean, more for you, obviously, too, but like, have you guys ever seen an NLL goalie get caught with illegal gear?
I don't think NLL. And then Hutchie, I mean, maybe you can answer this. If someone came in illegal, they have a chance to go back and make it not illegal, right? Is that kind of how it works? Like, say if you're off on a measurement, or is it just like, hey,
yeah,
you're illegal, so you might get caught, or how does that kind of work?
yeah. So my rookie year, funny story. I first time I ever got to play, B Mill got hurt, so I was in Vancouver, and my stuff was just like expanded to the max. Like I didn't know there was specific measurements that you had to go into. So when I went into the change room, I was off by like a couple inches everywhere, and they do give you a chance to fix it, but it has to be in the refs room. You can't go back out into
Okay.
the hallway or not. And
Okay,
then
it's
if
gotta be right
you're
then and there.
so if you're off measurement after that, then you get fined and you start the game with like a 2-minute penalty or something like that.
Okay. It's good to know. So basically, yeah, I mean, basically, Lomas, like, I assume teams can still call for a measurement, and then if the guy was illegal, but I haven't seen it. Honestly, I mean, I would remember, but I don't think I've ever seen it. I got a funny story actually. When I was, well, I
You
mean,
just had a conversation with yourself. That was
Alert,
awesome.
alert, alert. Stop what you're doing. Paulie's got a story. Let's
no,
go.
but like, well, so one of the first, like, so I got called up in major for to play against for the Brampton Major Excelsior games. We were playing St. Regis, and I can't remember who the starter was. Oh, it was Patty Campbell. So we play. Patty Campbell gets in a fight, gets kicked out because it was during a stoppage of play, gets kicked out. So in I come, and then literally like within the first couple of shifts. So this was when like equipment was just coming through, like getting measured, stuff like that. So I had Bodum didn't have leg pads at that point. I still had um, the first kind of iteration. You guys wouldn't even know of the leg pad. I can't remember what they're called. But I didn't do the top parts up. Like I would just leave the top parts undone. So I had like string just like on them, like they weren't done up. And I had like, again, I played all junior with them and it was never like a big deal. Anyways, so to come full circle, JT calls my leg pads. Ref comes over. He's like, they're not done up. Illegal. You're out of the game. So I get kicked out. We had to put Sean Summerfield, who some people might know, but like big tough guy, like big boy, 250. He ends up going to net. Thank God we were up by like say 10 goals. So he comes in and he's like literally fish out of water, no idea what's going on. So they like make a game of it. We end up still winning, but if we weren't up by like 10 goals, we would have lost the game. Anyway, so that's just a quick funny story. I got the boot for legal equipment one time.
That's amazing.
I got another question about gear while we're on the subject. When my brother was a goalie, and growing up, like always had issues with his hands. And I know guys used to do different things. Guys just wear the eagle gloves and stuff. Do you guys have any issues with your hands anymore? Or is it pretty much like the gloves are good to go? Like, is there much kind of rigging that you have to do with the gloves, or it's pretty much good to go?
Yeah, no, the gloves still need a little work, and I think that's the next thing that we need to figure out, is because the reason I went in Saskatchewan was because Hart's hurt his hand in warm up because the gloves weren't the greatest. And yeah, I think it's just by getting hit so much. It's like we're getting hit there every practice at least 20 to 30 times a horseshoe, or in drills, and they just break down, and it's the pad gets weaker and whatnot. But yeah, we still have issues with our hands. But now Bodum came out with this. It's called the Knuckle Buster, and you put it over top of your glove, and it adds a layer of protection, and that's what we use for practice and whatnot.
That's what they called Paulie in high school. The knuckle
Yeah,
buster.
my late night move.
That was all time.
Tom Paulie met Dory. Well,
Exactly. Gave her the knuckle buster.
Oh God. But yeah, on that note, Ralphie's hand was all like bunged up. Whatever. Everyone's like, all right, just like avoid his hand. Don't shoot at it.
Yeah.
Fieldsy's always buzzing the tower on the goal. He's hitting him in the head. This time, okay, don't shoot low. Like, don't hit him in the hand. Like, he's going to reach his hand down if you shoot to the low corner. First shot as hard as he can, low corner, hits him right in the hand. Just right on brand.
Yeah, Ralphie came to me that morning, and he was like, "Oh, my hand, I just got hurt in the hand, blah blah blah." And then in warm up, like Lomi was just saying, Fieldsy steps into his shot. Usually it's 10 feet over the net. This time it was like perfectly down near where you would put your hand to make a freehand save. Ralphie sticks his hand out and just blows it up. And it's like, and then Ralphie looks to the corner at me. He's like, and I just knew. I was like, oh boy, here we go. Like,
yeah, he's in.
Hey, so that brings up another good topic. I want Paul's opinion on this, and Hutch, your opinion. In warm up, every O guy in the league is shooting to score in warm up. There's a train of thought among some goalies that the defenders should be hitting the starting goalie all throughout warm up to basically boost confidence. I'd say, Paul, you go first here. What's your take? Do you think defenders should shoot for the goalie, or are you just trying to get your patented bouncer to the top corner going?
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, and I think like, again, I'll say, like, if you watch the two half circles between the starter and the backup, the velocity and maybe the placement of the ball dials up a little bit once the backup goes in. But yeah, I kind of have a rule of thumb. And so I'll go from a goalie. When I was a goalie, I didn't really care, to be honest. Like, I'd like the first 1-2 minutes, like, just touch me up a little bit, just so I can get the feel of the ball, and then it was kind of no holds bar for me. I didn't care, where you were shooting. But from my standpoint now, and kind of how I've always been my whole career, is starters will always get touched up. Like, again, I'm either like pumping at 5-hole, or I'm throwing like a muffin top right, just so you can like maybe get a step into it. But backups, yeah, I'm trying to score. I'm dialing up a little bit.
Yeah, backup. Everyone's shooting to score, but Hutchie, what's your take?
No, I'm the same as Paulie. It makes sense now why my stick is so much bigger. Like, the pocket in my stick is so much bigger, is because now D guys are just pounding at 5-hole. But yeah, no, I'm the same way as Paulie. I've lived both now, and the first 2 minutes of the warm up, I'd like to feel it a little bit, but then it's kind of, you guys have free reign on wherever you're going to shoot. But to the horseshoe, like Paulie said, we talked about it last time. Fieldsy has two different shots. The first one is low to the glove, and then when the backup goalie gets in, it's high to the chin, and that's just how it is. And that's just how it is, and you gotta take it as it is. But yeah, now I get the low glove, and Doug Buchan gets the high to the chin. So it's
And that's a tall man. That's a high chin
It
that
is
we're hitting.
yeah. He was. It was actually funny. We did court this weekend, and we were going around the room, and I just put $5 for headshot for Fieldsy. He's like, I didn't hit anybody in the head this week. I was like, that's for like what's going to happen in the next couple weeks, because we know what's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he should just put $50 in just for the year. Just say, here's my yearly
down
total.
payment.
like the McGillney missing practice check, Paulie. Like, it's
Yeah,
like, all right,
yeah, exactly.
here's my
I ain't
guarantee
coming.
it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I'm not
Exactly,
changing.
right.
Here's my 50 sheet.
Just pay, because we know what's going to happen eventually. Like,
Yeah, and he also our bless his damn heart, our third goalie Dylan Sprents. I think he got put back about 6 reading levels after Fields. He got him in the melon one practice. I said in the room after, I haven't heard him talk since. So
yeah.
um,
And he came to the next practice with a new helmet, so I think
he got the Donny special. Just switch up to the most protective bucket. And,
It works. It works. I still got mine kicking around. You can just put a goalie mask on mine.
Yeah. Let's go back to the Mimico days. Talk to us a little bit about. I've been hearing rumors about this spread you guys would have pregame. What did that thing consist of?
Oh yeah, we had a pretty good spread, and it started with just like fruit trays and whatnot, but it kind of grew over time in junior. It was fruit trays, and then Maggie and Jamie Taguri, one of the guys on our team, Josh Gurry, his parents would make these chocolate chip banana muffins, and I could bury about 10 to 15 of them before we even got on the floor. And then I think it was crazy. Sometimes there would be pizza out there, Donnie, and
Yep.
sometimes there would be like you said last time, there would be pork sandwiches from the pregame barbecue. Like our parents.
One time we had like KFC too. One time there was like popcorn chicken. It was like, guys, this is awesome. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
exactly. Like they would have pregame barbecues, like our parents would out in the back alleyway of Mimico, and then whatever they were cooking on the barbecue would slowly make our way to our snack table, and then Donny, I think, would one time told my dad that he loved the like candies that were on the table one time, and then the next game, my dad came with this big jar full of Mike and Ike's, all the stuff that Donny loved, and it was a great snack table.
I'm a high maintenance player, so still am today. That's where it started.
Donnie's got his own green room requests for the snack table. That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
but we never had sushi like we do in Rochester. That's the one thing that we have on our snack table that is just I would never want on anybody's snack table.
I think this podcast might have gotten rid of the sushi on the table, because we talked about this like a few episodes ago, and ever since, I remember like Dauber made a comment about it to me, and I don't think it's been back since. And we've had like the beef jerky and the fruit and like everything that we started talking about. So we've got some hidden influence there.
Yeah, I never seen sushi on a table until I walked into the room, and I don't think it ever got eaten. Like, Paulie, did you ever get on?
No, I never. It did, dude. It always got eaten, but like you wouldn't see it like eaten pregame, and all of a sudden you'd come like after the game, and like half the roll was missing, and you're just like, who's the psychopath that had some of this gas station sushi? Like,
exactly, because it was definitely sitting in the gas station for 3 or 4 days,
and then it'd be sitting on the table. It wouldn't even be even in the fridge. It'd be on the table.
Exactly.
It's like,
in a hot
what
locker
are we doing? Yeah, it's like, oh my god.
I kind of like this is an anecdotal story, but we had a client meeting, and so I ordered a bunch of sushi, and I thought like the meeting was supposed to end at 5:30, and the meeting ended up going to 7:30, and I just had the sushi in like sitting in the room, and afterwards nobody touched it because it was basically the raw fish got cooked in a hurry, and there was just sitting in a hot boardroom just getting ready to go. But maybe we'll jump onto kind of like the fast forward to the Minto run, because we've had you for a while here. We want to get into some NLL stuff too, but what are the memories that you've got from that run?
I guess just like the playoff series to get us there against Brampton, it was a battle. I don't think we were kind of expected to get there. We kind of made the moves at the deadline to get Andrew Q, which helped. But yeah, that series was battle. We took them to Game 5, and it was a weird year because usually the Minto Cup host gets a automatic bye to the Minto Cup. So we played Brampton, and before the playoffs started, there was a big thing about how they said they didn't want to automatic bye to the Minto Cup. They wanted to earn their way to the Ontario final, and we took that a little personally, and we were like, all right, we're gonna end that. We're gonna end their season at home, and it was a battle. Like you've heard this on the podcast before. There was the fight that ensued even before the series started, and then we played Six Nations in the Ontario final, but at that point we had already clinched our spot into the Minto Cup, and then the Minto Cup was in Brampton, and it was a grind. But like I said before, there was a bunch of good teams. Like we played Coquitlam; they had Delbs in net. Six Nations had Audie, Bomber, Dougie in net. And then the team from Calgary was pretty good too. They had Orly in net, and I'm sure they had a couple guys that have gone on to play. So
Brett
it was
Craig,
a pretty
for sure, among other
yeah.
guys.
I think Brett Craig was the one I was just about to point out there. But yeah, they had a good team, and it was a battle of a Minto Cup. But yeah, I think we lost in the semifinals to Coquitlam, which was a heartbreaker. But it was a great experience, something that we were looking back on, and it was pretty special because not many people get to play in the Minto Cup, and it was a pretty cool experience to do it in the way we did.
Was that your last year, Hutch?
No, that was my second last year. So growing up, our team in Mimico kind of was a little bit better when we played with the age above us, which had Tanner Thompson on that team. So we kind of loaded that year to try and win a Minto Cup together, and ultimately came short. But it was that year kind of that I think we had the best shot of winning the Minto Cup. So we went all in there, and yeah.
Yeah, the next year we kind of like couldn't get our act. Like the next year kind of just didn't go our way. We just weren't great the whole year. I think it was a bit of like we didn't win the championship, but kind of like a little bit of like a hangover type vibe. And then we got the break of all breaks. We played Brampton in the playoffs, and Teeter was at the World Championships with Team Canada in Israel. And we lost to Brampton. I think if we got through, we had a chance because we were starting to play some good ball. And credit to Brampton, we had just beat them the year before. They got Stephen Orleman in that year, and they beat us without Jeff, which is obviously, they deserved it. So they that was another really fun series that went all the way around.
And is that when they went to the Minto out west?
Yeah. That was the year that they went. Yeah, that first series. We like Johnny just said there, we were peaking, and ultimately they played great. I think Clark kind of stepped up the way he should have in that series, and he helped them through to the next round, and then they got Teeter back, and Teeter in junior was just a different animal. He was great. So
yeah. Well, he's pretty good in our league too.
He's still great. But I got Yeah, I got to play against Teeter growing up the whole time, so he's been in my nightmares for a long time. So
It's funny, Hutch. We used to play. I've told this story on the pod before, but you know, he used to throw those floaters. He still does, but he used to throw the floaters all the time in junior. I remember just like as an O guy, you're just like, come on, Hutch, just like fucking be patient. Like it's not even moving. And then we played 3x my last year at Cornell, so it was like just like no gear, tennis balls, and it's a 3-on-2. So whenever the ball switches possession, one guy's got to go in net. We play on box goals, and I was in net, and he threw the floater on me one time, and I was like, that was fucked. Like, all right, I apologize for everything I ever said about Haji. That was insane.
yeah, it's the craziest release because you sit on it and you sit on the short side where he's going to put it, and then he puts it posting in on the far side, and you're like, oh, I just sat on it because you threw 4 floaters past me, and then yeah, he has a great release, and it's a tough shot to stop.
Last thing on Mimico, because it's funny, is tell the story about Subak and killing in the name of.
Yeah, so he would throw on this pregame song. I talked about it last time, "Killing in the Name of," and it had a pump up to it, and it would start slow, so everybody had their time to prepare and get ready for it. But when the beat finally dropped, he would turn the to music all the way up to the max on the speaker, and then he would just beat the shit out of the whole room. He would smash the snack table. He would hit the garbage can,
He just
and
started breaking stuff, basically.
yeah, he would. The amount of ceiling tiles we went through in junior is just ridiculous. I think in our 5th year, the arena guy finally was like, you know what, we just won't fix them until the end of the summer because he would smash ceiling tiles. And yeah, the guys would prepare for it too. They would take the garbage can out or the garbage bag out of the garbage can, so that way the garbage wouldn't go all over the room and our equipment manager wouldn't have to clean it up. But yeah, he would take the garbage can at the end of it and throw it down. There was an alleyway in Mimico, and he would throw it all the way down the alleyway, and it was a fun pregame for sure.
I love how they would just adjust to make it life a little bit easier for them on the cleanup rather than be like, hey man, like stop doing that. Like,
well, they tried. And yeah, Ocal, our team president, comes in one day. Hachi told it last week, but he got a cigarette in his mouth, and I think Tolly was still our coach, and he just goes, Tolly, I'm fucking trading him. I don't care. I'm trading him right now. And Subi was like, our like one of our captains, like definitely like our heart and soul leader. Like if you know Subi, he's one of the best teammates around. It was like, we're not trading him. Like he should probably stop breaking the garbage can. But like we're not gonna trade this guy. Like, and oh man, it was so classic. And I just remember Ocal being like, if you keep destroying team property, like we're gonna fucking freak out.
You're gone.
Yeah.
That story that Donny was saying, that he was yelling at Toller, telling that he was going to trade him. Well, like blowing smoke in my face. I'm trying to get ready for a game, and the smoke's just coming in my face. I fucking trade you. It's like, oh my god, I'm trying to prepare here.
Yeah, that's awesome. But let's move into NLL here. Again, we've had you for a while, but walk us through the draft process. How'd all that go down?
Yeah, so I was like I said last time, there was the combine that the NLL has, and I went to it as the last goalie. There was a 6-year-old there, like I was saying. But yeah, I went through the combine, and at the time they would have team meetings. So I met with Georgia, I met with Buffalo, and I got like I said last time, the questionnaire from Doug Locker. And I had no clue that Toronto was even kind of in the mix. But then, so the combine happened one day. I think the draft was 2 or 3 days later, and it was at the track. So I had full intentions of being picked by Buffalo. And then my name was called at 30th with Toronto, and it was kind of a dream come true because I had season tickets growing up, just like you guys probably had a love for Toronto. And yeah, so I got picked there, and I wouldn't trade my 4 years in Toronto for nothing. Jamie and the organization were like top notch organization. Like Jamie cares so much about his players, and it was a pretty special experience, especially being from Toronto.
We talked about this a little bit, obviously, last time. We've referenced this a million times, saying last time, but talk to us about your relationship with Rosie. Maybe touch on the side hobby that you've picked up since.
Yeah, so we I had no idea about card collecting until I came to Toronto, and Rosie was big into it. And there was one day we were out after our lunch, game day lunch, and Rosie was like, "You want to go to Target? I have to pick up some hockey cards." I was like, "Yeah, sure." So while I was there, I grabbed a couple box, and then like throughout the time in Toronto, we just became like sports card collectors. And he kind of showed me the ropes on how to collect cards, how to grade cards, what they're worth. And now we make it an annual event to go to the Sports Card Expo in Toronto every year. Yeah.
And just deal with the freaks. Donnie, you're
Yeah.
on mute there, but Donnie, you're muted.
I just said I want to come this year. I think I'm in. I gotta see like experience this for myself.
Yeah, the wheeling and dealing that happens at that place, I'm sure some of these guys would be great GMs in our league, because like there's like sometimes where you're just sitting there and it's more of a show. Like I'm not a big trader. Like I like collecting them and just like holding on to them. But some guys go to these events and they're sitting at a booth for like 20-30 minutes just trying to come away with a card that this guy has. And it's crazy just to sit there and just hear the conversations that are happening. But like I said last time, there was one deal Rosie made, and he had like 6 or 7 rookie cards of hockey guys, and he was trying to get the Austin Matthews one. And the one guy was coming back with offers, and Rosie was going back with other offers. And then next thing you know, Rosie has like 3 brand new box of hockey cards and the Austin Matthews rookie card. I was like, how did that just happen? Like, it's crazy to sit there and see these things. But like, yeah, some guys tell you to get lost too. Like there was Rosie has this one card that he's been trying to get rid of for a little while now. And this one guy was very interested in it, but everything that he would offer Rosie, the guy kind of like just like was like lowballing Rosie. And Rosie was like, no. And then at one point, the guy was like, all right, I'm not interested. Get lost. Like he basically told us to take a hike, and it's crazy.
I would be so bad at that. I feel like trying to how do you quantify what's worth what? Like I don't know. I feel like I would be awful being a GM too. It's like trying to decide if like okay, like a third and fourth round pick is worth. You know what I mean? Like how do you know? Especially with cards, like there's so many other variables with each individual card, and you throw in
Yeah.
different sports and things like that. I feel like it would be so hard to quantify.
Yeah. So the first time we went to the expo, I think Rosie kind of was like, all right, like he didn't really know. And then the next year we came back and Rosie had like a list of all the cards that he had brought to the expo and kind of what they were worth and what he was willing to give up to make sure that he felt justified in the trade. And yeah, he was a lot more prepared the second time around, which landed him that Austin Matthews rookie card. But yeah, the on eBay, it kind of like if you have the exact card that you want to get graded or want to sell, it kind of tells you the price range on which it's worth and how you go about doing it.
Tell us about the Tim Hortons thing, the Tim Hortons cards, because a lot of people think they're not worth anything, but there's like rare versions that are actually worth a lot.
Yeah, so every year the Tim Hortons puts out these cards, and they come in like different sets. So like you'll get a card in each pack that's worth something different. So the first 2 cards are typically like your base set, which are worth like 25 cents to like 10 cents, depending on the guy. but then the middle card of that pack is kind of what is worth something. So those could range from anywhere between $1 to like $45, and those are the different types of sets that are in amongst that. And then you get the rare cards. So like I said last time, I got a Wayne Gretzky rare version of the Tim's card that's worth $600. So the the packs that you give to your kids and think that they're worth nothing, there could be a 600 card just getting folded in the back of your car. Yeah.
Getting
so
used
Folded
to
in the back of
snot
your
rag.
car has different connotations to different people.
I gotta put my gum in something. Give me that card.
Yeah.
Just break it in half. What would you say that you kind of like learned in that, that time in Toronto? What would you say you learned most about kind of yourself as a goalie, and then about the game too?
Yeah, I learned so much just from Nick as well. Like there was the off floor stuff, but the on floor stuff, Rosie kind of really instilled in me that it's okay to get scored on in runs. And that was the biggest thing that I think I lacked coming into the NLL is that you're going to get scored on, and you're going to get scored on 3, 4, maybe 5 times in a row, but it's okay that our team's probably going to score 3, 4, 5 in a row at some point in the game, and limiting those runs and just staying even keel the whole time. And I think you can see that in Rosie's mentality is that you play the same way no matter what type of situation is going on, and that's why he's the one of the best goalies in the NLL right now. And I owe a lot to him, and I kind of am using that now as a starting goalie for Rochester. It's just staying even keel because we're going to get scored on, and it's going to happen in bunches sometimes, and just kind of playing the same way that you would the whole time type thing.
Yeah, I mean it's a good segue for us. Like, walk us through kind of everything that went down from your perspective with the trade to Rochester.
Yeah, so obviously I got left unprotected in the expansion draft when Vegas was coming into the league, and I got a call from Willie about a week before the draft, basically telling me that I was going to come down to Vegas and kind of play for them. And then about 3 or 4 days after that, Willie had called me again and said, listen, there was a trade that Rochester had proposed to me, and I couldn't refuse it. So we're going to trade you to Rochester. And then about a couple minutes later, Dan Carey reached out to me and kind of explained that he had traded for me and the situation that I'd be coming into in Rochester. And yeah, so that kind of was the expansion draft trade. And I'm super thankful that it kind of happened that way now. And I love Rochester and just the team we have, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously now playing with Ralphie, you guys, I would say you're both very different styles of playing goalie, and nobody's the same. Nobody's the same style of human as that guy. So maybe talk
Yeah.
about your relationship with him a little bit.
Yeah. So before I came to Rochester, I was a little nervous because the Ralphie I knew coming into into Rochester was I don't touch a line on the floor. I don't fist bump any other goalies. I am just a weirdo like any other goalie. But then the first practice, I think he was saying stuff in the dressing room, and he was opening up, and just over time, the person that I've got to know is a wild one, but someone that I love to be around, and he's the ultimate team guy. I think he has a way of speaking to every teammate, and he'll tell you how it is type thing. But he gets a laugh out of everybody in the dressing room, and he is a top notch person. but he is the type of person that'll tell you how it is, and he doesn't care how you feel about it.
All time. Donnie, you got anything else you want to walk through before we wrap her up?
I think just the jersey number. Why do you wear the number that you wear, and what's the kind of story behind that?
Yeah, it's just back when I started playing, I got 3 options. It was, I think, 29, 00, or 1, and I chose 1. So it kind of stuck with me since the Pee Wee playing days, and that's kind of, I've never kind of ventured away from it. So
Have I've never had it, like, since you've been in the league, that somebody else has 1 or whatever? Like, you've always pretty much had it?
yeah, no, fortunate enough, I haven't had that. When I was coming to Rochester, actually, there was a guy on the team at the time. He was wearing number 1. So I texted Ripper when he asked me my jersey number. I was like, I would love number 1. If you could send me the guy's number, I'd like to just like see if I could get it off him, type thing. And Ripper said, "Don't worry, I don't think he'll be a part of the team next year." So I kind of
Ripper's ruthless.
yeah, I kind of felt bad in a sense, but like at the same time, yeah, I never had the chance to talk to someone to get that number. So I've been lucky to have it every time I've gone to a new team.
Paulie wasn't so lucky. It cost Paulie a couple of bucks this year.
Yeah. Haven't been taken up on it yet, but I do owe a dinner to Noah Ribar. So at some point I owe him a dinner. But
He's just waiting for you guys to go to wherever the most expensive city is.
yeah, exactly. A nice little steak somewhere. Who knows?
Yeah.
Vegas. Probably go to Vegas.
Yeah,
One of those new casinos that just opened up. $15,000 steak. There you
go. Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah. Gordon Ramsay's actually feeding it to us.
Yeah, I have a funny story about that Vegas Hell's Kitchen. We went down there last year and played, and so we stayed afterwards. And with the family, we went and we had a dinner there. And I was sitting down, and the lady kept on bringing us bottled water, and it was great water. And so we never had the option at the beginning to kind of like, do you want water, pop type thing? She kind of just kept on bringing this water. And every time we would finish it, she would ask us again if we wanted this water. And the bill came at the end of the meal, and we were charged like $60 for this water. And it was ridiculous. Like, they never told us about anything. They never explained to us that this water was being charged. But yeah, I was guzzling this water thinking it was free, and I ended up having to pay $60 for it.
Best water you ever had, though.
Best water.
Yeah, good margins for them on that. They just poured it out of the tap.
Exactly. It was filtered though, so it's all good.
Yeah. Hey, he said it was good.
Yeah, it was the best water I've ever had, actually.
All right. Well, Hutchie, thanks for taking the time, man. Obviously, it was 2 separate hours we took out of your time. So the second one sounds like it went well. And again, appreciate you taking the time. It was fun, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Like I said last time, I appreciate what you guys do. You get me to and from Rochester sometimes, and it's a great thing you guys are doing. So keep it up.
All right. That was the Cookie Monster, Hutchie. A great little interview. A little bit of audio back and forth issue, but that's okay. We're all about problem solving. Maybe you can't even notice because Donnie's got cool AI stuff that he can fix it with.
Yeah, or it's not Riley Hutchcraft.
Or you're just getting banter this week. Or you're getting a 25-minute episode. Yeah, I'm just thinking back to Paul, your comment. I don't know if I want to do the love life walkthrough right now because
no, I'm just joking. But I send you a text. My sister,
you're serious?
all the time.
I thought you were serious because I used to do that a little bit, but
no, but she always is like texting me and like being like, "Hey, what's going on with Dan?" I'm like, "Jesus."
I can give you more updates. I can give you updates. I can give you offline updates because there's just there's a little bit
She
of
may be looking. Who knows? Maybe Gruzy, I don't know. We'll have to come and watch.
listen, I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one. I don't think I even need an answer. I guess the other things to
Tired
kind
of
of
the old bull and wants a young calf.
what's that from?
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
Okay, so I had it in the notes about my biggest fear story. So this is like a vintage Donny being an idiot story. So we talked last week about how I'm scared of birds. So I'm scared of birds, right? It's a thing. So we were doing I had to do the media day at the start of the year. I don't think I told this in the podcast, but stop me if I had. So I was doing like this little interview thing with Ashley Docking, and she was like, okay, we're going to kind of like rotate between like some quick hitters and some longer questions. So we're going, and it's like a couple of them are like easy, like, pregame music and stuff. And some of them are like thoughts on the Olympics, thoughts on like the lacrosse community, some deeper questions. So she asked me, what's your biggest fear? And I went on this like long answer about like my biggest fear is like letting people down who believe in me and stuff. And I think she meant like sharks or something,
Yeah.
And I have one like pigeons is like, I'm just like terrified of pigeons. And that's like a funny thing. And after I was like, oh, and I mean, you guys know when I get talking, I kind of get on a roll, but I was just like, I don't think that's what she was looking for.
Not only do you get on you'll get on a roll. I think all of us get on a roll when we start talking. But my favorite thing is picturing you leaving that interview, sitting in the car and being like, fuck. I just know what she meant. I overthought this. This is ridiculous. She's gonna think I'm a nerd. I should have just said I'm scared of pigeons.
I was like, I sounded like such a pussy, like letting people down, like shut up, like it's lacrosse, like.
Listen, I'm just scared of birds. How did you become scared of birds?
I don't know. I never had a bad experience or anything. It's just,
Previous life, you got killed by a hawk or something.
Yeah. So, but like, I'll walk, cross the road. If there's like a group of pigeons there, like I'll cross the road and walk on the other side of the street.
Me mugging you, eh? Poor pigeons.
And the pigeons in Toronto don't give a fuck.
No, city pigeons are not, dude.
And that's like my worst. City pigeons are my worst one. And like if you ever go to like a big, like a beach town where the seagulls are really aggressive, like kind of like same thing.
Buddy, that pelican situation would have eaten you alive.
I would have left. I would like that actually would have like I would have not been.
Does that give like when you're watching that video? Does that give you anxiety?
Yeah.
Because that's the same thing like with snakes with me. Like when I watch like snake videos, like I just like start like getting the heebie-jeebies. I'm just like, oh god, it like just freaks me out.
Yeah, I think my theory is that, or like my opinion is that everyone's entitled to one, like irrational fear. So like not like everyone's would be afraid of like a great white shark, right? It's like everyone's entitled to be more scared of something than they should be. So like rats or like spiders, and mine's pigeons.
Dude, I hate walking up basement stairs.
Okay.
Like
That's just called laziness.
no, that's not what I mean.
I just love standing by the beer fridge.
So like if it's like like my parents have an unfinished basement, and
yeah, it was like when you like go down trying to get back up,
and all the lights to like really light up the basement are in the basement, are down there. So you have to turn them off and then go up the stairs. Fuck that.
Yeah. It's funny. Like speaking of that, I just was scrolling on like Instagram and it's like had this picture, like my most irrational fear. And it's a giant swimming pool, indoor swimming pool, but then a shark in it. And like I had that same one when I was younger. Like I used to love swimming, but then like you dive off like the big diving board in like one of the Olympic pools. And I'm just like, get out. There's a shark here. Get out. It's like, you can clearly see there's no shark in the water, but like you're in there like, get out. There's a shark in here. Oh my God, get out.
That's awesome. This is gold. I guess the last part is this damn NIL nominee. Like I know we're going to have to give it to, right?
Yeah. There's no, I mean,
well,
at least the first one.
What's the fucking argument? He's leading the nation in goals.
Well, I think what we should do is put out some nominees, and we'll let the people vote on it.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Well, at least we have one
um,
nominee ready.
So I think
Cormier-
let's do the
Cormier?
nominees. We'll do the yeah, Cormier. I'm good with that. My
and then
Kyle Playstead just set the goals record at Bellarmine, so I think he should be in there.
okay, and then Firth.
Maybe, yeah. Let's think about the fourth
Okay,
one.
we'll
I
do
think
some research. Donny wants to take it away from a Cornell guy. That's awesome. I can't believe we clip it. Okay, I think that does that pretty much do it for us this week.
Yeah, keep an eye on our socials. You'll see some voting links.
Yeah, and one more plug. I told him I'd do this. If you're in the GTA and you need your house painted, you reach out to me and I'll give my old man Pete the painter your contact information because he's open and look. He's got some time in between jobs before big one kind of starts up. So if you need something painted, reach out to me. Bunch of NLLers have had it done. Alex Krepensek, Dan McRae. I'm pretty sure.
Hold on,
Brent-
is Pete the Painter paying for this ad? What?
Oh yeah, heavy.
Okay.
Heavy. Yeah. We're getting a percentage of every job that comes from it. It's more of a commission role. So we might be able to really screw them on that actually. But yeah, reach out if you need anything. You guys got anything else before we shut it down?
Nah, buddy.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll text you guys about my my shenanigans. But thanks for listening. Episode 110, Back the Bird. We'll chat with you next week.
Peace.